plaintiff, Katie Calamari, has been friends with the defendant since middle school. And when she was kicked out of her home, Katie and her mom took her in. Katie claims the defendant repaid her by stealing her clothes, and she's suing her today for a cell phone bill and a termination fee. Defendant Autumn Truex says while living with Katie, she acted more like Autumn's mother than her friend, and she constantly put Autumn down for having a social life. Autumn claims Katie also gave away her cats behind her back, and she doesn't believe she owes because Katie shut her phone off.
All right, let's start with you.
I've been friends with Autumn since middle school, and unfortunately she has the same mentality as she did back then. She's more concerned about being a teenager than she is with growing up, and she's really irresponsible and likes to party. Let me give you an example. About 2 years ago, she called me one night from a party, drunk, wanted to ride home. I come to get her. I get there, the cops are there. She's walking down the middle of the road with her middle finger up in the air, yelling obscenities to the police.
At the police?
Yeah. So mind you, it's like midnight, you know. So I get out of the car and try and calm her down, get her in the car. She keeps yelling, so the cops come down and they arrest her. And the next day she gets mad at me for not bailing her out of jail. So throughout the years, I've done everything I can to help this girl out in any way possible. In high school, she got kicked out of her house and moved in with my mother and I. Okay. And she repaid me by stealing my clothes. And that wasn't the first time that happened.
You all wear the same size, maybe, just about?
No, that's...
Yes, but I know them a little differently, sir.
What are you saying? What?
Yes, I did get arrested, but I also did, she didn't tell you, I consumed a whole pie or bottle of vodka. Unfortunately,
is that something
a fifth or a pint, you say?
It was a huge, I don't want to know how much it is.
Please,
It was
you do know how much of that is. If that or you're not a...
Probably like a pint of vodka, sir.
You're not a real drunk if you don't know what that is. She couldn't be too much of a drunk if she doesn't know what that amount of vodka is. Could be, and depending on how wide it is a half a gallon.
Well, yes, I was immature when I did that, but obviously that's in the past now.
Alcohol poisoning. Yeah, you drank that much alone?
No, it was between me and my former friend.
Oh, okay.
Not Katie, but another friend.
All right, so it was the two of you. All right. Anything else you want to tell me about your friendship with her or you as a person?
Yes, we were friends in 7th grade, and we decided to move into her house that she owns. And
not in the 7th grade.
Well, no, not in the 7th grade,
All
sir.
right.
When we were 20, I was 19 and she was
Good
20
enough.
at the time.
All
Lived
right.
together. I thought living with her was going to be the best time of my life. And it actually, in all reality, it ruined our friendship.
Why?
And because she would treat me like a mother. Like, I don't want a mother. I didn't need
Tell
her
me
to be
what
my
she was
mother.
doing.
She would constantly put me down for having a social life. She's a 20-year-old and she acts like a grandmother.
Put you down like what?
Because I don't want to go out and
Hold
party.
on, ma'am.
I'm 20 years old. I can, just because I drink doesn't mean that I'm immature.
What skill do you have?
Skill?
That means none. That means none. Well, maybe I should put it differently. What profession?
Well, I'm actually going to go
Because I
to...
see you taking something totally different. Go ahead. So when I get drunk, I have plenty of skills, y'all. Not that type of skills. What?
No, I'm actually going to
trade or
I'm going to go to our community college in the spring semester for nursing.
And you've been out of high school how long?
This will be 3 years.
And have you done much since you've been out of high school?
I have worked.
Okay, what type of jobs?
I worked at the resource center.
Okay, pretty decent
called
job.
DSP. You work with the handicapped. You take care of them in your
pretty
everyday
good
life.
pay?
Yes.
Making it work on time?
Yes.
All right, well, she can get drunk if
Sober.
she wants to.
Yes, I have been sober. Thank you very much.
All right, very good. Anything else you want me to know before we get to the cell phone bill?
Yes, I want to bring up that I told her when we lived together I wanted cats. She comes home one time, brings me cats. I go to my boyfriend's house for a week. She calls me with some lame excuse that this lady wanted her cats back, brought the cops to the house, took them. So I was like, okay, I'll call the vet and find out. Call the vet. Turns out they're like, no, your roommate just brought the cats back. So I called her and confronted her about it. And she told me, yeah, I gave away your cats. I was like, you didn't have to make up some lame excuse to get rid of my cats. You could have just told me you didn't like them and wanted to get rid of them.
How long had you owned them?
She didn't
A month
even
and a
own
half,
them.
2 months.
Okay, what are you saying?
I got the cats from the vet myself.
So why did you get rid of them?
You got
Because
them for me.
One was supposed to be mine and one was hers. She wouldn't clean up after the cats. The cats shared a litter box. She didn't clean after either of
Well,
them.
couldn't you get a separate one? Put their names on it.
But that wouldn't.
Cell phone bill. How does she owe you for a cell phone bill?
On March 8th, I opened up an account at AT&T and allowed her to be on the plan with me. At the time, she had a job. And
What was the agreement?
It's a 2-year contract,
2-year
sir.
contract, and she was to pay half, and I was to pay half, $90
Half and
each.
half.
Yes.
Good enough.
And everything was good until May. She quit her job. The following month, to come up with the money to pay her bill, she had to sell her iPhone. And then the 2 months after that, July and August, I don't know how she came up with the money, but she did. Come September, I asked her if she has the money for the bill. She says no, but her ex-boyfriend owes her $60 and we could get that from him. So the next day, I had to spend 3 hours chasing him around trying to find him so he could give her this money. When we found him, he didn't have the money, so she ended up having to return clothes to pay for the cell phone bill. So that bill was paid.
Return clothes.
Yeah, clothes that she had recently purchased. So a few days after that bill was paid, I texted her and asked her if she would go to AT&T with me to attempt to change the contract into her name. That way, when she doesn't pay her bill, she still doesn't have a job 5 months later. I didn't want to, that's my credit that's going to go bad when she doesn't pay it.
Because I drink doesn't mean that I'm immature.
What skill do you have?
Skill?
That means none. That means none. Well, maybe I should put it differently. What profession?
Well, I'm actually going to go
Because I
to...
see you taking something totally different. So when I get drunk, I have plenty of skills, y'all. Not that type of skills.
Plaintiff Katie Calamari is suing her former friend, who admits that she was arrested after she consumed an entire bottle of vodka.
Ma'am?
Okay, I worked at the resource center. I wanted to drop down to substatus. So I put in my 2 weeks notice to let them know I wanted to drop to substatus. The last night of my 2 weeks, they tell me that I have to be proved for substatus and that I had been denied. So basically, wasn't trying to quit. I was just trying to drop down to substatus. And then a month after that, I got a job at the Connections. And then I did, yes, sir, I got fired at the Connections for my attendance.
See why I was asking you about your education and whether you had a trade of some sort and whether you were making decent money. Oh yeah, I was making decent money. Can't even come up with $60. Got to pawn your clothes. So don't act like you living such a successful life, ma'am. You're living a destructive life and you're broke, being sued, can't afford your own phone, getting fired, getting drunk and partying every night.
Understandable.
So that's why I'm asking you that. You're 20 years old. You need to have been 2 years into something. 2 years into a skilled trade, 2 years into community college, 2 years into a bachelor's degree, 2 years into something. Other than these little jobs, you're going to go back and forth from here to there, minimum wage here, the Connection. What's that, a retail joint? I guess
No,
it's
it's
all
like
right.
where you like answer phone calls for like different companies. Customer service.
Yeah, customer service, and you all know all those jobs are in India anyway. They definitely got rid of you. They sent those
Not all
jobs
of
over to
them.
India. People feel more comfortable now if they think they talking to people in India. They say those people doing their homework. They're going to school. Get somebody from India or China on the line for me. Because the rest of y'all getting high and smoking and drinking, and other countries are focused on education and focusing on uplifting themselves, and many of us are living destructive lifestyles and caring little about education and caring little about coming up. And she's not putting you down. She's trying to lift you up when she's trying to encourage you to do right. Am I right or wrong?
You're correct. And
All right.
Her and I have had the discussion several times about what she said about she's 20 and I act like I'm a grandma. I'm being responsible and trying to start my life. I'm 20.
But you don't have any fun. I am your only friend our age. I can count the number of friends our age you have on my hand.
Do you have fun in life?
have a
Thank
ton
you.
of fun.
You have a different type. You don't need to get drunk to have fun.
I
Am
don't need to
right?
get drunk to have fun either.
What fun are you talking about she doesn't have?
You know, like biking.
What fun doesn't she have? What fun doesn't she have?
I don't know, but she drinks too, not as much as I do, but she definitely
You said
drinks
she
too.
doesn't have fun. We want to know what fun you're talking about. Right, drink and party. Now, the phone bill and the termination fee is because what?
On After I'd asked her to go to AT&T and get the contract into her name, and she wouldn't do that, on September 15th, I shut her phone off because I didn't think she was going to pay it. So I shut her phone off, and then there was still the final bill, which was due October 6th. From the billing cycle went from August 10th until September 9th, and her phone didn't get shut off until September 15th.
So it was into the next cycle.
Right. So that would be the $90. And then the termination fee is because when I signed up for the account, I'm in a 2-year contract. And I wouldn't have been in that contract. Well, for mine, I would have been in the contract, but I would be breaking the contract by terminating her line completely. So I either have the termination fee or have to keep a phone on there. So there would have been about a $30 charge each month.
So what did you do
I still have
on the termination?
I put my iPad on the line that was for her phone line because I would still have to pay about $30 a month. So I put my iPad on there, so at least I'd be paying towards something instead of paying nothing.
Ma'am?
Yes, she did turn off my cell phone bill.
Phone bill itself, did you pay?
Yes, I had paid. I had literally sold my clothes so I could pay for it. That shows how dedicated I was to paying my cell phone.
All right, go ahead.
That shows how dedicated I was to paying my cell phone. I woke up one morning.
That must have been a sober moment.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, it was. I woke up one morning, saw that my phone said no SIM provisioned, so I called AT&T, which is our cell phone company, and they said, you probably just have a bad SIM card, just come down. So I was like, I came down, and they said,
no, that's what you said. They didn't tell you that.
No, they didn't.
I think I had a bad connection. No, we've cut it off. Come down and pay. Somebody had a bad SIM card. Go ahead.
They put a new SIM in, and they said, well, obviously somebody shut off your phone bill. So I was like, okay. So I called her and confronted her about it. She said, yes, I did turn off your cell phone bill. I was like, okay, but we were in agreement together. We're in a 2-year contract. There's no matter what, I would do something always to be able to pay the cell phone bill. And as far as termination fee, I have evidence saying that I don't have to pay it. I'm not the one that turned off the cell phone. She's the one that turned it off.
What is that evidence? But she turned it off so that she can save her credit from you.
It is a text message stating that I don't have that.
From
it says
who?
From Katie.
Let's see it, please.
It's on the second page, the last text message.
This one?
Yeah, it's this one right here.
Okay.
I woke up one morning, saw that my phone said no SIM provisioned, and they said, you probably just have a bad SIM card, just come down. So I was like, I came down, and they said,
no, that's what you said. They didn't tell you that.
No, they didn't.
I think I had a bad connection. No, we've cut it off. Come down and pay.
Plaintiff Katie Calamari is suing her former friend, who admits that she was arrested after she consumed an entire bottle of vodka.
Do you recall telling her this?
The only thing I recall is when I'd asked her if we could transfer the account into her name. By doing that, we wouldn't have had to pay the termination fee.
This is her. I'm not shutting my phone off and paying that ridiculous amount for breaking the contract. I'm going back to sleep, meaning she was drunk again. You are terrible. And this is 8 at night. 8 p.m. at night. You know you weren't going to sleep early.
I was just hungover, sir.
Right, thank you.
Hungover.
This is your response. All you have to pay is the bill, not that shut-off fee.
That was for the bill that was due in September.
No, you only shut it off once. $90 is your judgment, and that's for the bill. Have a good day.
I don't know if I want someone like her as a friend. All these times I've tried to help her, and then every time she stabs me in the back.
I don't need a friend like her. I have plenty of friends.
Drunk friends.
That's all right. Doesn't bother me any. At least I'm having a fun time with them and my own fun.
Fun ruining her life.
It's not ruining my life right yet because I'm obviously going to school and you still haven't.
And I still have the same job I've had for over a year and a half.
That's all right because I'm going to school.